face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm doing a Eurovision 2024 Semifinal 1 qualifiers prediction. And this is of course very early days and before we know how anything is going to look on the stage in Malmö. And I think then you are valuing whether a song is going to go through to the final. We need to view each country as like puzzle pieces. So the voice is a puzzle piece, the song is a puzzle piece, etc, etc. And some countries we know a lot of the puzzle pieces, like Sweden. We know who's singing it, we know the song, we know the stage, and we know basically everything there is to know. But other countries like Switzerland, Cyprus, etc., we just know the song and who's singing it, but we have no idea how the staging is gonna look, how they sound live, etc. So it can be sometimes very difficult to compare these songs against each other because we kind of don't know the same amount of information about each song. But last year I did this as well, and I actually did a pretty good job. So I wrote down some notes for all the songs in the semifinal, and then on teammake.com I made this grid that you can see right here. And basically we have all the countries down here, and then we're going to place them on this kind of like grid. And basically the further a song is to the left, the further likely I think it is to not qualify to the final. And the further I place it towards the right, I think it basically means it's very likely to qualify for the final. Down below you can see the progress bar, and you can kind of skip to each country because let's be real, not a lot of people are going to watch the entire video. So if you want to skip to some certain countries, you can see the progress bar down below. And before we go ahead with this prediction, please let me know down in the comments below the 10 songs that you think will advance to the grand final from the first semi-final. Okay, so let's start with Australia. Australia we have here. So Australia is honestly already a little bit behind when it comes to the televote because it's Australia, and Australia often seems to get a little bit less televote than what they actually like deserve. And I think we have seen them struggle a lot in the past. I don't see that much love for this song going on around. It's on the lower end in the odds and also on the lower end of the Eurovision scoreboard. I love Australia, and Eurovision is one of my favorite countries, honestly. But when I take everything into consideration and the fact that Australia have had such a tough time with the televote since they joined the competition, I think it's definitely on the non-qualifying path. And I would probably place it like I don't think it's like all the way down here, but I feel like it's probably here. I don't think it's likely to qualify, but I do think that if they have amazing staging, it could qualify. I feel like let's move a little bit. I feel like this has potential to qualify, but I feel like right now it's just more likely to not qualify than to qualify, in my opinion. Okay, let's move on to the next one. It's Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan is kind of a similar story. They have, like last year, they didn't do that good, and they have been struggling a bit with televote also recently. I personally don't think the song is impactful enough to make it through, if I'm being honest. I think it's more of a jury song. Who's more likely to go through, Australia or Azerbaijan? I feel like they're probably like... I would probably put them like, maybe Azerbaijan is a little bit more likely to qualify just because it's Azerbaijan and they always seem to pull out something with the stage. So I feel like they might be just a little bit ahead. We can always like move this around if needed. So I would probably put them maybe just like a little ahead of Australia, but I still think it's more likely that they're not qualifying than qualifying. I just don't think the song is impactful enough, and I do think that they have been struggling a bit also recently. Okay, the next one is Croatia. So Croatia is of course the Boogie's favorite to win Eurovision, and the song is just a very televote like friendly song. This is going through. We can put this all the way up here. Like, it might flop with the jury in the final, like who knows, because it's not a jury song, but it will definitely go through with the televote. I don't think there's really any question to say about this. This could very well win the semifinal. I think that is very, very, very likely. I think that they should be considered the big favorites to win the semifinal. I'm just not living in a world where Croatia is not qualifying. It doesn't make sense. There's no way they're not qualifying. Croatia is definitely through to the final. Okay, then we have Cyprus. Okay, Cyprus is an interesting one. I feel like there's a lot of mixed kind of like thoughts about Cyprus. I feel like a lot of people are thinking that Cyprus is like a safe qualifier, but we also saw with Andromache that no, Cyprus is not a safe qualifier just because they're bringing the bangers. There are a lot of girl bangers in the semi-final. We have, let me see, who do we have? We have Luxembourg, we have... Okay, we only have Luxembourg, to be honest. Okay, it's not like it's the most girly semi-final ever. But I'm not sure there's going to be room for both of them. And Cyprus is in the first half of the semi-final and is a very, very tough pack one. So I feel like it's very, very borderline qualifier. I love the song. It's my number 10 currently. So it's not like I don't like the song. But if I had to just judge it right now, I would probably place it like judge just on the like non-qualifying path. But I could definitely see this qualifying, and I would not be surprised if it qualified. But I think it all depends on the staging, and also it's going to depend on how Luxembourg is going to do and what they're going to do with the staging, because they're the girl bops and they're kind of fighting for a lot of the same votes. And also there is Slovenia in that genre. Okay, so there's Finland. Finland is televote friendly. I mean, even though I dislike this entry, I cannot deny that it's a very, very televote friendly song, and it did win the UMK televote very comfortably because the song is so televote appealing. Like, let's not deny that. It's very obvious that Finland is a song that does very well with the televoters. I don't think it's gonna do as well as Croatia, but it will probably do pretty well. I'm pretty confident it's gonna qualify. Let's put it here. I feel like it's looking pretty good for Finland to qualify, even though I do not like the song. They are in the second half, which is also pretty good. This means a little bigger chance of qualification. The song is very televote friendly. Yeah, I don't see how this is not qualifying. I could definitely see this finishing in the top 5 of the semi-final. So let's put Finland through. Next up we have Iceland. Iceland it's a very dated song. I'm sorry. It's one of my like lower places, and also looking from an objective point of view, this is a song that is just not gonna cut it. I don't see that much love for this song, and I can't really recall any similar songs that qualified through the past years. So I honestly think that it's very, very unlikely that Iceland is going to qualify. I mean, of course, Heda could do a big surprise and like they did at national selection, but I highly doubt it. Since Esc didn't win, Iceland has been basically just dropping down the list on the odds. And yeah, I honestly think that they're maybe the least likely one to qualify. I'm going to put them all the way to the left. I just don't see it. But maybe Hera can surprise. I think she's a stunning lady, but I do think that her previous entry was just better than this one, so much better. Let's move on to the next one, and that is, of course, Ireland. Okay, Ireland is an interesting one. When we talk about qualifiers, we need to take into consideration that but not everyone from the first half of the semi-final is going to qualify, and it's a very, very packed first half. I think that we cannot have both Cyprus and Ireland qualifying. I think we have to let go at least one of them, maybe both of them. And when I compare the two and who I think is more likely to qualify, I want to give the edge to Ireland because, and hear me out, I think that Ireland's song is so wacky and so weird that it could maybe just draw in those people to vote for it because it's so unique, so like on its own. There's nothing like this at all. So it might just be weird and wacky enough that it will get the votes it needs to go through to the final. But I could totally see this just not qualifying at all. It's going to be interesting, but I really appreciate that Ireland are sensitive different this year. And right now, I'm going to give them the borderline yes qualification. But I'm not confident about it. I'm really not confident about it. I feel like they might as well not qualify. It's going to be very, very intense. But I'm going to put them just over the border to the qualifying path, okay? Next up, it is Lithuania. And Lithuania is number 13 in the odds. It's a catchy modern pop song. And also Lithuania is on a pretty good streak in terms of qualification. They qualified for the last 3 editions and have been placing in the top 15 actually in the last 3 editions, which is honestly amazing for such a relatively small country, like population-wise. This is like a very, very clear qualifier. I would put it like very, very high, like all the way up here. I just don't see how this is not qualifying. Yeah, I'm gonna put this like right next to Croatia. I think that they're both very likely qualifiers, and Lithuania is such a modern catchy pop song. It has so much love in the Eurovision community, and I just cannot see how people are not going to be interested in voting for this one. And also, this doesn't have that much competition in the semifinal. We don't have any, I don't really think we have any other like male like Bob in the semifinal really this year. So it really stands out on its own. And I think it's going to qualify to the final pretty comfortably. Next up is Luxembourg. It's Tali with 5-10. Obviously, Luxembourg is coming back to the competition. And I think Luxembourg and Cyprus is going to fight for the spot. I don't think both of them are going to make it right now. And we know how Tali's staging is going to look. And we know she sings really well. So because of that, I want to give her the edge of qualifying. And I want to place her like here. I hope Luxembourg can qualify. I think if they were to qualify, I would just give them a lot of like blood on the tooth, like a lot of like, do you say that? You don't say that. You don't say that. That's a Danish like saying blood on the tooth. Yeah, it would give them like the motivation to keep on going and participate in Eurovision in the future as well. And I think they're here for now. We know the staging, we know she sings very well, but these two could easily be switched around. Yeah, it's very borderline, but I would get a borderline yes. Then we have Moldova. So if you watch my top 37, you know that Moldova is actually my last place. They actually have a pretty good like qualification streak, but this song to me is just so dated, so old, so like unremarkable that even if they pull out amazing staging, I just don't see how this is gonna do. Yeah, I just don't see it. Like, I don't really see it. I'm gonna give it like a let down here, like with Iceland. I think these are the two least likely qualifiers. I just cannot see it really happening, if I'm being honest. I think maybe we'll put like these two a little bit further up when we think about it, like this. Maybe like that. Let's do that. But I just cannot see Moldova qualifying. They have sometimes been pulling out amazing staging, but this doesn't need an amazing staging. This needs like, I don't know, they need to just be crazy for this to have a chance to qualify. I just don't see it really. Then the second half of the final, which could be to their advantage, but I'm on most likely no. Next up is Poland. Okay, Poland has honestly, since the new voting system in 2016, Poland has only once not qualified with the public. And that is basically because Poland has a lot of diaspora voting, which means that they're going to get a lot of votes no matter what song they're going to send. And the only times they didn't qualify with the public in this period was in 2021, where they had that absolutely song, like a disaster of a song. This is very likely to qualify. I know that this song might not be as strong as some other songs to the semi-final, and some people are not really believing that Poland qualify, but I do think that it's very likely that Poland will qualify just due to the diaspora voting. I do think that maybe we can put it like here. I do think maybe it's Finland's a bit more secure, but I would say pretty comfortably that Poland is going to qualify, that the diaspora voting is there, and that should be enough to pull them through to the final. Then we have Portugal. Okay, Portugal. Let me just, what did I say about Portugal? What have I done about Portugal? Yeah, Portugal is very unique. There's really nothing like it in the semi-final or really in the competition. And that's what Portugal always do to really stand on their own. I think the song is just so unique and different that it will qualify. I'll probably put it here. Like, it's a borderline yes qualifier. I just think it stands on its own. It's very unique, very different entry. And I think that alone is going to make it come through to the final. And personally, I really like the song. It's very different, but I really like the melody and the chorus. I think it's so gripping and so like, there's something about it that's just so mesmerizing. So I believe in Portugal, but also I could see them not qualifying. It's going to be interesting and really, again, going to depend on the staging and also what other people are going to do. Then we have Serbia. Serbia only failed to be in the top 10 with the televote once, just like Poland, since the introduction of like the new voting system in 2016. And that was in 2017 with Into Deep. And even then, they were 11th place. Serbia is just a very, very televote secure country. They're always guaranteed a lot of votes. I will put them here. I love Ramonda. It's my second place. I absolutely love it. The song is very understated though. I do acknowledge that. It's a very understated song. Very, very, very like quiet. But I also think it does stand out in the semifinal, which also should help it advance to the final. So I think Serbia is going to qualify to the final. and they really, really strong in the televote. So I'm pretty confident about that as well. Okay, so now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 songs here. Okay, now we have Slovenia. And there's of course Raven with Veronica. Strong vocals. I reacted to a live performance at Dora and it was incredible. I'm gonna put it probably here, like probably there. I think that there's a bigger chance of Slovenia qualifying than not qualifying, but I also could see this not qualifying if like everything is not right, and I could see, you know, this not qualifying and maybe like Cyprus qualifying. But I do think that Slovenia has the edge. They're in the second half of the semi-final. They can maybe close the show. And the song was a little bit more, I would say, unique. It has this like ethereal androgynous vibe about it. It's just a little bit more unique than like Luxembourg or Cyprus. Even though I actually prefer these two songs to Slovenia, even though I also like Slovenia. But it just has this little bit like more ethereal and like different vibe, which I think is why it could maybe make it through. And last we have Ukraine. Okay, Ukraine has not one time not qualified for the final, which should be a pretty strong indication that they're definitely going through to the final. I think that they are like all the way to the right. They're definitely qualifying to the final. And they are number 2 in the odds and could also win the competition this year. They have a very, very strong song as well. I'm really confident that they're going to qualify. And yeah, I think it's pretty easy to say so. Okay, but let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so the 10 songs you see on the right are the 10 songs that I think are going to qualify as of right now. But you can see the Cyprus is really close. I really think Cyprus could qualify. And then over here we have like the songs that I don't really believe in. I think Iceland and Moldova are out. But I do think that Azerbaijan and Australia, with the right staging and everything, and maybe one of these not doing very well, could qualify and take the spot. But right now, this would be my best guess. Yeah, but that is of course just what I think. Who do you think will advance to the final of the first semi-final of Eurovision 2024? Please let me know down in the comments below. And as always, you should have a blast until I see you next time. Bye bye. Boom.